Pork loin and pineapple melts in the mouth. You have not tasted something like this before. Take an oven-proof dish into which you put sliced pineapple. Then add 3 tablespoons of olive oil to the bowl. In the bowl, combine all the spices you will use for the meat. I use smoked paprika, pork seasoning mix, and dried garlic. Rub this aromatic mixture on the pork, making sure the meat is evenly coated. Now, take the smoked bacon slices. Lay the strips of smoked bacon flat on a board so that they slightly overlap. Place the seasoned meat on the bacon and wrap it on both sides, completely surrounding the pork. Secure the bacon with kitchen thread to prevent it from unrolling during cooking. Put the pork prepared in this way into the dish with the already sliced pineapple. Then transfer the dish to an oven preheated to 200 degrees and bake for 20 minutes. After this initial stage of baking, reduce the temperature to 180 degrees. The pork loin is ready when it runs clear juice when pricked. Slice and serve as desired. Enjoy a beautifully prepared pork loin. This dish is an unusual combination of the sweet taste of pineapple with the smoky flavors of bacon. I guarantee you that your guests will be delighted. Enjoy. Delicious chicken fillets in soy sauce. My family asks for them every day, and everyone who tries them asks for more. You need 4 chicken fillets. Cut them diagonally, all the same way, only on one side. Cut 2 red onions in half and chop them. Slice 2 larger tomatoes. Pour 2 tablespoons of olive oil and half a cup of soy sauce into a large dish. Add a pinch of salt, a bit of pepper, oregano, and basil to taste. Remember that soy sauce is already salty, so you don't need too much salt. Add a tablespoon of brown sugar and squeeze 2 cloves of garlic through a press. You can add more garlic if you like. Marinate the chicken breasts in the mixture. Soak them on each side. Wrap in foil and let it sit for half an hour. Sprinkle onions on the bottom of a baking dish. Arrange tomato slices on top. Place the chicken fillets on them. Arrange them side by side. Pour the remaining marinade over them. Put it in a preheated oven at 180 degrees for 30 minutes. After this time, take it out and sprinkle the top with grated yellow cheese. Put it back in the oven, bake until the cheese melts and browns. You can serve the finished dish to guests. It looks amazing and tastes excellent. You can place a single fillet on a plate and savor its original taste. Everyone is surprised by this simple dish and asks for the recipe.
Pork skewers with potatoes are a version for enthusiasts of both skewers and pork. Have you ever tried making pork skewers? Prepare about 1 kilogram of boneless pork shoulder. Cut it into pieces about 1 centimeter thick. Spread all the pieces on a cutting board and cover with plastic wrap. Take a meat mallet and gently pound all the prepared cutlets. Remove the wrap and season the meat with salt and pepper on both sides. Take 2 large potatoes and cut them into slices of medium thickness. Transfer them to a bowl. Sprinkle with salt and pepper to taste. Season with a teaspoon of sweet red paprika. Pour 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and gently mix the potatoes. Take 2 skewers for the skewers. On the cutting board, place 2 slices of potatoes next to each other. Pierce them with the skewers. 1 skewer for 1 slice of potato. Now take the first piece of meat and place it on the skewers. Press it against the potatoes. Now take 2 onion rings and place them on the meat. Place bacon on the onion. Now, create a layer with potatoes and then add meat, onion, and bacon sequentially. Arrange the skewer's ingredients in alternating layers. When the skewer is too large, you can lay it on the cutting board and finish adding more layers. When all the layers are ready, the skewer will look like this. All the layers are visible. Now, prepare aluminum foil and moistened baking paper. Moist paper is more flexible and makes it easier to wrap the meat and shape it for the baking sheet. Place the skewer on the paper, wrap it, and pack it tightly in foil. Transfer the skewer to an oven-proof dish and bake in an oven preheated to 200 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. In the meantime, prepare a marinade with 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of ketchup, a small teaspoon of French mustard, and 2 teaspoons of honey. Mix the marinade. After an hour of baking the meat, remove it and unwrap it from the foil and paper. Brush the marinade with a brush. Do this on the entire surface. Put the skewer back in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes until it turns golden brown. After baking, remove the skewer and transfer it to a plate. It looks juicy and delicious. Cut it in half lengthwise. Such a skewer is a perfect idea for a tasty dinner or an unusual supper. This is the best pork chop recipe I have ever tried. It's aromatic and juicy. Cut the meat into pieces, but don't cut all the way through, creating a harmonica-like shape. Transfer it to a baking dish. In a bowl, add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, and herbe de Provence. Mix thoroughly and sprinkle this spice mixture over the meat, making sure to cover every centimeter of the pork chop. Rub it in well, peel 2 onions and cut them in half, then slice them into strips. Next, take a piece of bacon and slice it into pieces of similar thickness. Layer each piece of pork chop with onion strips, placing 2 pieces in each cut. Add the bacon as well, pressing them deep into the cuts to prevent them from falling out during baking. In a bowl, prepare approximately 0.85 cups of vegetable oil. Add a teaspoon of salt, marjoram, and sweet paprika. Mix everything thoroughly. Apply this marinade using a silicone brush, spreading it evenly over the entire pork chop. The final step is sauerkraut. It's very healthy, and prepared this way, it's delicious. Prepare approximately 1 cup of sauerkraut and place it around the roast in the baking dish, filling any empty spaces. Bake for 50 minutes in an oven preheated to 392 degrees Fahrenheit. After this time, your meal for the whole family will be ready for an hour. The sauerkraut will be well seasoned. Pork chops are often dry, but this recipe ensures they are always flavorful and juicy. It's a perfect idea for a family dinner or a larger gathering. The meat literally melts in your mouth. This is the best pork chop you will ever prepare.